In last couple of topics we saw what computer networking is and why do we even need computer networking. But have you ever thought about how this computer networking basically works? So it doesn't matter whether they are in same office building, different city or in different country, but how are they able to communicate with each other? Let's take an example. Let's say you are working in one of the enterprise offices, okay, and where hundreds of computers connected in the network. In that case, how are all these computers able to communicate with each other and share data among themselves without making any mistake? When I say without making any mistake, what I mean is, let's say we have PC A and PC B among these hundreds of computers, right? So the question would be how PC A is able to find location for PC B and share data with PC B only, but it does not share data with any other out of these 100 computers. So how this accurate communication happens? Well, if you are also curious to know about how this magic happens, then in today's topic, we are going to discuss the fundamental behind how computer networking basically works. But before we begin, I would like to introduce our helping buddy Jay. He will be assisting us during our sessions. So let's get started. Well, to understand this theory, how computers communicate with each other, let's have a very simple example from human communication. Let's assume we have two friends in here, Ted and Bob, and they both work in same office. One day they both decided to go and watch live music festival. But the evening they were about to go for the music festival, Ted received call from his boss and his boss asked him to work upon one of the important files he was already working as his boss had meeting in the next morning. So Ted said to Bob that he can go first and he will join him directly in the music festival. Where Bob agreed and he went first. After a couple of hours, Ted also went to join Bob in the music festival. But after reaching there, Ted saw hundreds of people were enjoying in the concert. Since Ted wanted to join Bob, so he called Bob many times, but his cell phone was showing unreachable. And at the same time, Ted again received call from his boss. But this point, his boss was not looking for Ted, but he was looking for Bob. Because Bob was also working upon one of the important files and his boss needed that file on urgent basis. Now Ted got situation here because he had to find Bob on any condition. Otherwise, his friend Bob was going to be in big trouble. Now the question is, how do you think Ted can find the location of Bob among these hundreds of people? And that is also as soon as possible. Well, I'm guessing you may have already found the answer, but let's discuss our options here. Well, the first option is Ted could go to all these hundreds of people one by one and try to find the location of Bob. But since we have urgent requirement here, therefore this option is not going to be feasible, right? So what other option do we have? As you may have already guessed it, the best option could be Ted could go behind the stage and meet one of the stage manager or the host of this concert and request him to make an announcement that he is looking for his friend Bob as he had to deliver some important message to him. Let's say the stage manager was very kind person and he understood the situation here. So what he did, he came on stage and made an announcement that his friend Ted is looking for Bob and he's waiting at the backstage. Now from here, our computer communication concept starts. Once the stage manager made an announcement, each and every person was standing in this crowd heard that announcement. But not all the people responded back to that announcement. And it's because that announcement was not belong to them but it was belonged to Bob. Therefore, what these people did, they simply discarded that announcement. But once that announcement was heard by Bob, he understood this announcement was made behalf of Ted. So what Bob did, he went behind the stage and took the information from Ted. This exactly happens in computer communication as well. In this example, all these people in the crowd, they act as a computers, where the stage manager, he act as a switch, router or firewall. So whenever computers would like to communicate with each other, or when they want to share data among themselves, they make an announcement to the device they connected to. Well, in most cases, these computers are connected to switch. Therefore, the switch receives this announcement request and then forwards this announcement to all the computers connected on its ports. Once this announcement is heard by all the computers connected on this switch, these all computers then process the information whether it belongs to them or not. If it belongs to them, then they reply back to that announcement with their own information. Otherwise, they just simply discard that announcement just like these people in the crowd. In computer language, this announcement is known as broadcast. Computing devices use this broadcast technique to find the location of other computers or any other computing devices like printer, scanner, switch, router or firewall. So in summary, when computers would like to communicate with each other, they need to first find the location of that computer they want to communicate with. And to find their location, what they do is they use this broadcast or announcement technique. But the question is, what kind of information contains under this broadcast packet? As we saw from the example, when Ted wanted to find location of Bob, the stage manager used Bob's name as an identity while finding his location. So the question again is, do computers also use the same technique by using some sort of identity? And the answer is yes. We will discuss about this in a moment, and we will also see how this computer location finding works in our lab, but later in this topic. Now let's try to understand this theory but in computer language.